Right.
Me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. Sorry I'm a few minutes late there, but here we are again. I was only on just over an hour and a half ago, and I'm back again. But lucky you was getting 2 shows off me in a day. Wow. Yeah, guys, before we get into the show, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results and makes it found more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow, and bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. I'm now currently sitting at 281 subscribers, so I'm now 19 away from 300. So thank you
very much
indeed. I'm joined by Rolly, and how are you today, Rolly?
I'm good, thanks, Tony. Yeah.
Oh, that's
enjoying the results so far this morning with Liverpool and no FFP round here. Chelsea drawing 0-0.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But I suppose it's better for us though, draw, isn't it? So it just means we can stay further away from them, which is absolutely ideal. And
it means that neither of them move really get closer to the European places. West Ham have just scored.
They've scored, have they?
Yeah. Both sides are terrible in this game.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so you'd expect West Ham to win that game. Well, they've been at the London Stadium as well. You know,
they've both been terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. But we will keep you updated with goals as they fly in the back of the net. How many will fly in the back of the net? Who knows? But we shall see how many fly in the net. But yeah, I mean, we're looking ahead to the game as well. I mean, the game tonight at 5:30 p.m. kickoff on Sky. It's going to be interesting to see what team Eddie Howe puts out. Whether is Bruno playing, we're not sure on that, but we shall see. And I'm sure at 4:30 when that team's announced, we will certainly find out if he is in the starting lineup or not. So I'm going to go into some. I'm going to grab into some comments because I'm flying in now, and I don't want to be behind in my comments.
This goal could be ruled. The Everton goal could be ruled out. They're checking on VAR.
Well, for Everton,
that's the West Ham goal. I think it could be ruled. It could be ruled out.
Oh, okay. So it's a VAR check at the moment, is it?
Yeah, looks like it. Still checking. I think still checking. But anyway, I'll let you know if it stands.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Sean says hi. Hi, Sean. I hope you're well, mate.
Hi, Sean.
Leslie says, back again, Tony. Yeah, absolutely. Very committed, me. That's why committed. That's what it is. Night and game, afternoon, night. I hope you're well, mate. Hope you're looking forward to the game tonight. Leslie says, hi, Rolly.
Hi, Leslie.
Ian says, hi, Tony. Hi, Ian. I hope you're well, mate.
It's been given.
Knight says, 0-0. Great result for us. Absolutely. Absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, bye-bye, Everton. Enjoy the championship, says Knight. Yeah, let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, the goal's been given.
Yeah. Leslie says, you're in front of Mr. Rowley, but you're right, it's poor. Oh, you're in front of me, says Leslie. That's what you meant. Knight says, Brighton are leading. Leicester also good for us, means Maddison might be looking to move on. Yeah, could well be. I mean, the team sheets come out today, and as we know, this guy who's strongly linked with us, Anthony Gordon, is on the bench for Everton. Bit strange decision to put him on the bench. So something must be in the offense somewhere. I did say a few days ago, I do not want this guy anywhere near Newcastle United. But then I haven't sat and thought about it. And I thought, yes, we know the guy's got some flaws to his game. We don't know what his attitude's like outside of the game. So we don't know what he's like in the dressing room or, around his teammates on the training ground. He might be a totally nice, chill guy. We don't know. On the pitch, he might just be full of shithousery and likes to dive around. But as I said, he's a rough diamond. He just needs smoothing out. Maybe Eddie Howe's the man to smooth this diamond out. And you know what? It could turn around. We might not be happy with him coming in the club. Eddie Howe could turn him into a world beater and he could be a total different player. So, anything's possible, but we just watch this space. What do you think, Anthony Gordon thing? Do you think I'm right what I'm saying?
And him being on the bench could be a result of all the crap he took last week from the Everton fans when he's trying to leave the ground. His head might not be in the right place. I mean, after the abuse he got, you're thinking, why should I really turn up for you guys if you're going to give me that? I'm trying my hardest. I mean, I'm a great believer, though people say in the relegation fights, players aren't trying.
Goal. We've had a goal. And Leicester have equalised against Brighton and Hove Albion through Mark Albrighton. So it's Leicester 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. So when the goal comes in, that will flash up on screen. Sorry, Rolly. Do you like that, do you?
Yeah, I was took me a bit by surprise, that. It sounded like, it looked a bit like you were going Batman on me from the 60s show where there was Zop Pow. But as I was saying about Anthony Gordon, I think a lot of people criticise players for not trying when they're in relegation battles. I don't believe that's true. I just think they get frightened. They take too long. All the speed goes because they're worried about making mistakes, because they know if they make a mistake and the other side score, the crowd will get on them and they don't want to lose. And the nerves set in. I mean, at the beginning of the game today, Everton trying to pass it around the back, and they almost got caught out. It's only because Tiny Arms had realised what was happening, had quickish feet, that they got out of it.
Yes.
But as a player, as you said, he's a rough diamond. He's got potential. Throws himself to the ground a bit too much for my liking. The shithousery on the pitch. It's the sort of thing that when he's playing against you, you hate it. If he's playing for you, you're not so bothered. As long as the shithousery doesn't carry on when he crosses that white line at half-time or at the end of the game. We don't know what he's like as a person or a player or in the dressing room. It seems like we have no reason to believe that if we are actually in for him, that they haven't done their homework on that account. Mm-hmm. Because you look at the people that have been brought in since last year, January, everyone has been of the right personality and mental ability off the field, and to build that togetherness and fit in. So you would expect that if the reports are true, and I'm not in the know, so I can't tell you whether they are or not, you'd think that they've done their homework and they feel that he's okay. 2-0 to West Ham.
Yeah, 2-0 now.
Yeah, Jared Bowen's got his second. But
yeah,
I think the thing for me with Anthony Gordon is the price. What would we have to pay?
There you go, goal. That's for West Ham. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, what would we have to pay? I'll just crack onto some comments and then we'll. Damn it, Leicester equalises, Nate. Yeah, we saw that. Is Gordon playing? I can't see him, says Leslie. No, he's on the substitutes bench. Make all of that if you want to. Sefton says, afternoon all, West Ham 1-0 up. Hello, Sefton. I hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, Sefton, you're a little bit behind. It's 2 now.
Well, to be fair, that was about 8 minutes ago that came through, so 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Chris says, afternoon, Tony and Rolly. Afternoon, Chris.
Afternoon,
well.
Chris.
Thanks, Tony, says Leslie. Knight says, he'll be looking for a move. After the bin diver fans chased him down the road, Eddie would make him a phenomenal player. He does most with except Woods. Yeah, absolutely, Nate. I totally agree. I think Eddie Howe could make him into it. Look what he's done to Almiron. Look what he's done to Joe Linton. Look what he's done to Longstaff. You know, Eddie Howe.
Look what he's doing to ASM as well.
What he can do. Yeah, and to ASM. Look what he's doing. So we'll see. Chris says Gordon's on the bench. Yes, he is, Chris. Tony, you need a Steam Deck. Will make streaming much easier. Best thing I bought when I was streaming on Twitch, makes a hell of a difference. Steam Deck. Well, I'll have to have a look into one of them. See what that is.
I presume it's a high-powered PC.
Yeah.
It's like a gaming PC, something like that. So.
Right.
That's what I think.
Everton fans want rid of him. Speaks volumes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
West Ham 2-0, says Knight. Yeah. Ian says, my Scottish club Celtic won 5-0 in the Cup today, so hopefully the two can make it a double celebration tonight. Let's hope, Ian. Let's hope. Let's hope so. John will be happy as well because John likes Celtic. Sefton says 2 up West Ham. And Leslie laughing as well. Yeah, I mean, for the game itself tonight, I'll put it on screen what I think the team should be. Well, the team that I would pick for this game, if I was a manager, and I'm not a manager by the way, but if I was the manager, this is a team I would go with tonight. So I'd go Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, then the midfield of Joe Linton, Joe Willock, Sean Longstaff, up front, Miguel Almiron, Callum Wilson, and ASM. That would be my starting 11 tonight. I would not risk this guy any cost. Bruno, if he's not fully fit, don't play him. And to be fair, I would say don't play him on Tuesday down in Southampton. Give him the time off because we ain't got a game next weekend as it's FA Cup, so we're not involved in that. And then bring him back for the second leg at St James's Park. Give him time and rest to get himself fit. Guys, in the comments, do you agree with that team that I've just said there? That should be the team going forward tonight. If you agree with that, let me know. Because would you risk Bruno? Personally, I wouldn't. And I can't see this guy starting Isak because, again, he's got to build his match fitness and he needs minutes on the pitch. If we're comfortable at 2-0, then maybe give him half an hour just to build his match fitness back up. But otherwise, I would keep it as that team and I wouldn't start Isak either. Do you agree with that team I showed, Rolly?
I'm going to disagree with you in part, not with the actual selection, because I think that's what I would do. I wouldn't play Bruno today to give him the extra time. If they're saying that he's okay for this game, I'd just keep him on the bench and then play him against Southampton on Tuesday so that we can put the guy to get to bed in the first leg, and then if he's got a bit of a reaction, we can rest him for the second leg. We just want to make sure that we're. I want us to be through, essentially through after we come back from St Mary's. ASM, I'd start him. The only thing that I would differ with you is that you said, well, if we're 2-0 up, bring on Isaac. I'd bring him on anyway. About between half an hour, 25 minutes, whether we're 2-0 up or not, as you say, to get some minutes in his legs. Because it's going to be harder for him, though it doesn't look it, to get back up to that full match fitness, because he's not played in this league. He's played, was it 3 games in this league? Yeah. So he's got to readjust to the pace, though it looked good last weekend against Fulham. It's easier for someone like ASM, who, though he's been out for a long time, equally as long, but he's played several seasons, so I feel that it'd probably be easier for him to get up to pace than it is for Isaac, who's only had a couple of games. Yeah. So I think that's a decent side, and I think that's capable of winning at Palace.
Yeah, you would like to think so, wouldn't you? Yeah,
I think a lot of it will depend on whether their keeper has a worldie again.
Hey,
it depends on whether their keeper has a worldie again.
Oh, yeah.
When it's up at St James's Park, because I mean, how many shots did we had in target at St James's Park? So like 10 or something like stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knight says there was an interview with Eddie where he said that he always tells players what he likes about them, but then follows it up with how he can improve them. He's always looking to make players better. Yes.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing with Eddie Howe. I mean, do we go as far as calling this guy a genius? Because I think he's been absolutely brilliant since he's come to the club. It's the turnaround we've had in 12 months under Eddie Howe. It's absolutely phenomenal, and things are only going to get better. So I totally agree with what Knight says there.
Yeah, what Knight said from what I read from the article, obviously they have to sit down. He tells the player what he likes about them, why we brought him to, why we want to bring him to the club, how he can contribute and how he can improve them. I mean, what better way to start off by you bring the person up, tell them how they can help the team, which obviously gives them their sort of like a path to the first team, and then how he can improve them. I remember when Isaac Hayden signed for us. One of the things he said that made his mind up was when he was talking to Rafa. Rafa told him how he could become a better player.
Yes,
I think that really appeals to players that aspire to be as good as they can and play as a higher level as they can. Someone telling them not what they do wrong, not what's good, but how they can get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Half times in the Premier League, guys. It's Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Leicester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Southampton 0, Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 2, Everton 0. So that is your half-time scores. David Moyes looks like he's on the road to saving his job because it was the sack day if he lost against Everton. Chris has also said, how long until Everton pull the plug on Frank Lampard? Well,
45 minutes.
I always said he's never been a Premier League manager. He never will be. And I just want them to keep him till the end of the season, let him finish the job that he came to do, take them to the Championship, and let Everton rot in the Championship. Because I'll tell you now, there's no way they'll come straight back because they've got too much debt in the place. And trying to get rid of players is going to be really hard for them. Because who wants them? Who wants the catwalk man down the Calvert-Lewin? Not me, that's for sure.
I think it's
has declared himself fully fit, mate. Yeah, I know he has. Yeah, but I'm just thinking, do you really want to risk him? That's the thing. So, but we wait and see on that.
Yeah, I mean, with Calvert-Lewin, I think it's on Twitter. There's a phone in, and this guy was saying that they want a proper number 9. Says, "Our number 9 wears knickers and bras." But
Nice.
yeah. I mean, with Frank Lampard, they say when they're going to pull the plug. What's the point of doing it now? Because then you bring in a new manager who's got no time to assess the team with 11 days, 10 days left of the transfer window. What's the point?
Yeah.
And then if they give him to the end of if they stay with him, what is the point of sacking him afterwards? Because they've still got the same shite players. It's very unlikely that anyone coming in is going to make much difference without having that transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely.
It may make them a little bit harder to beat at the back, but they've got so little confidence at the moment. And they are basically a dead man walking, so to speak, at the minute. West Ham, they're 2-0 up. They're not much better. No. They're so ponderous with their play. I mean, Everton hit the post just before the end of the half, but they've shown absolutely nothing. With both sides, they play it around in midfield, play it back to the centre half, so play it across, back to the keeper, because there's no movement up in front of them, and they're all scared of misplacing the pass.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again in not just under the previous owner, but in previous iterations when we've been relegated in the past or been in trouble. You can see the fear in the guys' faces. Now, it must be 10 times worse for the Everton players because our lot didn't have fans berating them as they got in their car to go home.
Mm.
That's just out of order. That right. He's come to do his. I mean, like when you go to work, when you finish and you get in your car, you don't have the customers of your company stand outside and berate you if you're not doing your job properly.
No, absolutely not. It's just it's just crazy, isn't it? Why they go on like that. Knight says I'd change Isak for ASM at the moment. ASM's better as a wonder. So yeah, but I was just thinking more because Isak hasn't played a lot of games as well. That's why I'm sort of.
I disagree with that. I think it would upset the balance, and I think that the last 2 times ASM has come on, he's looked a far better player than he was last season or the seasons before because he's actually looking up. He's not trying to take the world on. He's trying to feed players in. He's actually using the ball rather than just using his undoubted skill. He's become a better team player as well. You actually see him tracking back and trying to, right, it's not a great tackler, but you see him tracking back as well. So he's taken in what the ethos of the team is and is trying to adapt his game to fit in. I don't think he wants to leave, and I don't think we've got any intention of selling him at the moment, unless someone puts in a sort of like 70 million plus bid. And I think then they'd consider it, and that would depend on how much time we've got to get in a replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. I like coffee. Hi, Tony, Rolly, and all. Hi to you. I like coffee. Sefton says, I wonder why Willock didn't train with the last players. Oh, it'd be interesting if he's in the starting 11, but I'm not a gossip. But sometimes players don't get picked up on the cameras that not all players have been photographed at times when they're training, so I wouldn't read too much into that if I was you, Sefton.
It all depends on which photos they want to put out. Maybe it's part of Eddie Howe's not giving anything away. Say, like, every time we do the training and you have the photos, make sure you miss one of our prominent players out of the picture. Then people think, oh, is he playing? Is he not? It might alter the perspective of the opposing man. Think, oh, is he carrying a knock? Oh,
yeah.
Eddie doesn't give anything away.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely not. Paul says, I'd be surprised if Howe started Wilson and Isak with Wood out the door, but if both got injured, we're in deep shit. Yeah, but I think we've got another player coming in because there's no way Wood would have gone if nobody else was coming in. So somebody's coming through that door. Who? We do not know. But Eddie Howe did say whoever comes in will excite the fans. So we wait and see on that one. I Like Coffee says, one of my friends was a long-time Liverpool fan, but I saw him today wearing a Newcastle shirt. Now he's a Newcastle fan.
It's
Oh,
seen
well,
the
he's
light.
from being a scout. Sefton's laughed at that one. Paul says, we need another player. Like ARM causing problems to them. How they shut us down last time with the deep defending. ESM can sometimes break through that crap. Yes, he can. I totally agree with that. I'm just trying to catch up on some comments.
I think with Chris Wood, I don't think that Eddie actually wanted to sell him or loan him out. But when you look at the deal that Forest have put forward, we get a loan fee. I don't know how much that is. And then there's an obligation to buy for 15 million. And that obligation doesn't include them surviving relegation.
No.
It's a number of games.
And
I got a feel from the way that Craig Hope was saying, it's a handful of games. And he's played today, so that's one out the way.
Yeah. Knight says Eddie is Stewie Griffin levels of genius. Leslie says, I'm not too sure. West Ham will stick with Moyes. Well, they will if he wins today, won't they? Knight says, the interview on YouTube, it's called Eddie Howe. What I've changed at Newcastle, best hour and a half I've heard from him. He talks about going on to learn from all different sports. Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant, isn't it? He also says, before he joined Newcastle, honestly, if you want to know Eddie, watch that. Yeah, good watch. A very good watch. Paul says, to be fair, mate, we all know too well, it's better to make a manager change early rather than later if you're going to do it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's like in the times we've gone down under the previous owners, gave them 10 games to save a team that's in free fall. It's not enough. And the season went down with Rafa. If we'd had sort of like 2 or 3 more games, I think we would have actually survived.
Yeah.
But you got to get, I mean, if they're going to make a change to have any chance of it actually coming through, they've got to make it in the next 3 or 4 games to give a new manager time to influence what happens on the pitch, build some confidence into the players. If they leave it any later than that, we'll get a bounce of 1 or 2 games, but they'll be so. I think this season is possibly the one where it won't matter quite so much because no one's been cut adrift. Because from the bottom to 13th is 2 points.
Yeah,
Everton, Southampton. Well, before kickoff, Everton, Southampton, West Ham all on 15 points.
I mean, let me bring this up now.
14th was, I think it's Leicester on 17 points. Then you had the gap to 20 to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. Right. On screen now, you can see the table. This is the latest table at the moment as it stands in the Premier League. Obviously, it didn't change Liverpool or Chelsea's position. They stayed exactly where they are. Well, they moved. Liverpool moved up 1 place, I should say, replaced Brentford. Now, we go further down the table. Now look at the bottom. Everton are rock bottom of the table as it stands. Southampton second from bottom, followed by Wolves, then Leeds United on 17 points, and then come West Ham and Leicester on 18, Bournemouth on 19, and Nottingham Forest on 20 points. So it's looking very, very tight down there now. But the key thing is, guys, Everton are bottom of the Premier League as it stands at this moment in time. But there is 45 minutes to go, and anything can happen in 45 minutes. It takes a second to score. We saw that in the World Cup final. And Mbappe got 2 within 90 seconds. So it's all to play for in the second half. But like we say, at the moment, let's all laugh at the Smackums. Let's sit at the bottom of the Premier League.
Yeah, you're saying that you saw it in the World Cup and that Mbappe scored 2 in 90 seconds, which is true. But Calvert-Lewin is no Mbappe.
No, he's not. No, exactly. No, but my reasoning is you can score 2 goals in quick succession. I know. Look when Florian Lejeune done it for us against Everton.
Yeah.
When we were 2-1 down.
I'm trying to remember when there was a game. I think it was in the 80s, where we were playing Leicester, and I think we were sort of like 3-1 down with about 5 minutes to go, and ended up winning 4-3.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. It happens. I mean, that's why I always stay right to the end, because you never know what's going to happen.
That's it. Knight says, no fairness, why would you make an effort after being threatened? I'm freaking, I wouldn't. Exactly.
Yeah.
Toon Revival says, I don't want to see Isak go wide. Otherwise, we've wasted 60 million on a guy who stated on Twitter he's yet to be a future number 9. I do agree. But you can't play wide. You can't play wide, though. That's the thing.
I think the sort of plan is, I would expect the plan is that Wilson is the number 9 for this season. Isak's bedding in, getting his experience, improving his game, and he's basically the heir apparent. And he will. I would be a little surprised if he doesn't start as our main striker next season, unless we buy someone else in. But at the moment, he's come back from a pretty rough injury. So, and Callan's been playing well. It's not been scoring of late, but maybe it's not a waste, because it's not like he's only here for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
And was he 22? He's about 4 years before he actually gets close to entering his prime. So it's an investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to ask you about this guy, Rolly, because I just want your thoughts on him. I mean, so I'm going to put him on screen now, and he's called Mukako, and he plays for Borussia Dortmund. Now, conflicting reports are saying he signed a contract until 2026. Now, a report from Bild this morning, the German newspaper, have turned around and said Dortmund have now gave him an ultimatum that he either signs his contract or he's sold this week, because they do not want to be messing about. They have offered him €6 million a year in wages, plus a €10 million signing on fee. Now, nothing's come concrete from Dortmund themselves, because I would imagine if he signed the deal, that would have been all over the news now.
Yeah. I actually checked their website about an hour ago, and there's nothing about it. So
yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, on this guy? And then there's some questions: is he 18 or is he 22? So we don't want to know that. We don't want to know that Obafemi Martins or a Chancellor Mbemba, who have got 4 different but
on the age
your
thing,
thoughts on this guy, what do you think of him?
From the reports I've heard, because it's not a player that I've followed up until he's been linked with us. He looks like he's a real piece of work. He sounds like a really great prospect. The age thing, I know that some African players, there are controversies on his age. As you said, Obafemi Martins and Chancellor Mbemba, but sometimes people just look a lot younger than they actually are. Yeah. I have great pleasure in getting people to guess my age. They're normally at least a decade out. So yeah, he looks a hot prospect, because all the top clubs are after him, are interested, have a watching brief. I think that Borussia Dortmund are being smart to try and get him to sign a new deal, and if he's not, they're going to sell him, because of his potential. If they don't sell him, he can go anywhere for free. I don't know, with his age, would they get like if we sign a under 21 play under 21 or under, it goes to a tribunal to sort out the fee if they're out of contract.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the same in Germany.
Ruling.
Sorry, I think
that goes down. Yeah, it's the same as the Bosman ruling. Yes, it goes down that way.
Yeah, and they'll get peanuts in comparison if they sell him. So it is a smart move. And if they say they're given a week, it gives them like four days get the deal done, which is doable. It could be an excellent signing. Another young stud in the squad. I think he'd be for the first team squad as opposed to Garang, who's obviously gone out on loan. But yeah, on the face of what I've known, it'd be a good signing. I'm still quite calm about the transfer situation at the moment. We've still got 10 days. We know that they're working on it, and I think it's a bit like last season. It's going to be that everyone's waiting for the signings, though not as anxious as last year because we're not in the same position. And then in the last week, they'll bring at least a couple of players in. Now Chris Wood has gone, maybe 3 players in, and it's possible that we've not heard of any of them. Or I think there'll be at least one that we're currently linked to will come in, and then I think it could be a surprise, a bit like Bruno.
Nate says, you see that, Rolly? I had a customer come to me where I work for looking for a fight after I spoke to him on the phone, lol. And then I'll call you. I'll call you Kong, Nate, like everybody else does. Calls you Kong. I love the fact Romano says we'll be the busiest team this deadline day means more than one. And yeah, I like Fabrizio Romano. He speaks a lot of sense, and he's very trusted. He also
says more right than he gets wrong.
Yeah, he says, I hope it's that young Brazilian, the new Pele.
Is that Franca?
I mean, França. Yeah, this guy here. Yeah. He'd be a tremendous signing, won't he? So we shall wait and see on that one.
The other thing I like about our business is that we're getting players with potential that Eddie can mould and improve.
Yeah.
I think we've got enough experience in the side with the older hands, like the Fabian Schurz and Dan Burn, Trippier, Callum. They're the older guys in the squad. Or in the first team. And then when you look at the squad, you've got the likes of Matt Ritchie, Paul Dummett. There's a lot of experience in the squad, but it's been missing youth, and not just youth, quality youth. And I think that's what they're trying to address. My personal opinion is that going into the window, they're looking for 2 or 3 this window, and then maybe 3 or 4 in the summer, and obviously outgoings. But again, that's this window it was sort of 2 because we weren't looking to lose the likes of Chris Wood, but because the offer that Forest gave us was too good to turn down, we do need to get an extra player in.
Yeah. Leslie says, is Wood playing? Yes, he is. He started today for Nottingham Forest. He's number 39. He's got Bruno's number, and I've just seen him on TV there for a brief minute of Bruno. Sorry, not Bruno, Wood. I said 39, that's why I said Bruno. Pablo says, afternoon, lads. Sorry I'm late. What have I missed? We've just been talking about goals and who's coming into the club. Anthony Gordon. So if you want to say Pablo, have your say on chat. I'm just going to catch up with these comments, Rolly, because I'm a bit behind.
Yeah.
Paul says, I'm loving all these young up-and-coming talents we are interested in lately. Not taking anything away from, but I feel we need players in for right now also. Yeah, we'll get players in for everything, Paul, and it just takes time, mate. So, yeah, Gary's confirmed about Chris Wood. Paul says, seen the vid earlier of Everton fans crowning Lampard, saying we support you, etc. He looked uncomfortable. Then the fans need to leave him and the players alone. It's embarrassing. Do you know what? It's getting really embarrassing with them now.
He looked so stressed and thinking, how do they let the fans get so close to him, especially as they've got this thing about saying the board members shouldn't turn up to games? You'd have thought they'd have more protection or security so that fans can't get to the likes of Frank and the players. Because, I mean, how do you think, do they really think that going up and confronting them, they're going to make the performances better?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and it's just not right at all. Not right at all. But I'll come back to that question, Nate. So I've started. Andrew says, "Soz folks, been on phones. Happy Saturday all. How are you, the lads? Welcome, Andrew, again, matey. Nice to see you on again." Paul says, "I remember when CC and Bar were fighting the number 9 with one playing on the wing. It was brilliant competition between them two." Yes, it was, absolutely. Troll says, "I see the Wood effect has hit Forest." Yeah, well, it's his first game. Give the guy a chance. Kong says, "The thing is, most modern teams that play like us, their front three can interchange play out wide as well as down the centre. If we get that German boy, our front three will be amazing." Yeah, absolutely. And then Harry, hi Harry, hope you're well, mate. He says, "Makoko would be a top signing. He's got massive potential. He's playing for Dortmund and Germany's first team." Yeah, absolutely. He's Cameroonian born, but he's a German national, yeah. Knight says, "He's amazing on Football Manager. Always sign him and he plays wide right for me." Revival says, "Newcastle won't sign Makoko. As I said, he signed a new contract with Dortmund until 2026.
No, he hasn't. It's not been announced.
Unfortunately, not at the moment. Nothing's been confirmed by Dortmund yet because they're still waiting for him to sign this deal, so we'll find out. Troll says, "Hi, Tony and Rowley." Hi, Trolls. Harry says, "Despite rumours of Makoko signed a deal at Dortmund, I still think they could sell him as they would get more money for him if he was on a 4-year deal than they would if his contract runs out in the summer." Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
He's not signed anything. So when he does, it'll be all over the Dortmund website because it's a big deal. Keeping one of the players, it's like when we sign a player, you know it's happened when it's on the club website.
Yeah. According to Toon Revival, it's actually on Dortmund's website.
Well, it wasn't about an hour or so ago. Unless it's just come on, because I checked the Dortmund website.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look on their website now.
It may have come through now, but about an hour.
Let's have a look. Let me share this on screen, guys. There we go. So we're on Dortmund. There we go. And Toon Revival, you're absolutely spot on, mate.
Yeah, that's come on today.
Contract till 2026. There we go. He signed it.
Yeah, so he signed it now.
So he's penned a new deal, and yeah. So
they must have just published that in the last hour or so, because when I checked earlier this afternoon, it wasn't there. So
according to Sebastian Kehl, Borussia Dortmund sporting director Yusufa is an extraordinary player whom we've developed ourselves and in whom we see huge potential further development. I'm therefore happy that we've been able to convince Yusufa to sign the deal at the start of which will be such an important second half of the season for us, that he has the best prospects of BVB and his journey here is far from over. It's important for us to be able to complete the negotiations this week so that we all know, and also Yusufa in particular, can start 2023 football year in peace and fully focused on the sports challenges ahead." So there we go, guys. Makoko has signed a new contract, so he will definitely not be come back to Newcastle. And Toon Revival, thank you very much for that info.
Thanks for the update, Toon Revival.
Because it wasn't on there a while back, so they must have literally just released that then. Toon says, "I've got to say Gabriel is miles ahead of Francia." Okay, not sure. Yeah. "I think if we're going to sign anyone that we've been linked for, it'll be Anthony Gordon," says Harry. Again, I think the same, and I think if he does sign, I'll back him 100%.
Absolutely.
And I think Eddie Howe will do a good job on him. Toon says, "There is one thing our squad is missing. Yes, it has Prem experience, but the only two players in that squad are Champions League proven as Bruno and Trips." I think we've got others in there that could be Champions League proven, like Joe Linton, Almiron.
Hasn't Isaac played in the Champions League?
Yes, he has for Sociedad.
Sociedad.
And Dortmund, wasn't it, when he was at Dortmund?
I don't think he did play too much at Dortmund.
No. Sefton says, I need a shut eye before the game, lads. We have another new member in our WhatsApp group, Northwest group. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'll catch up with them shortly and welcome them to the group. And Sefton, time to get on the channel and give it a subscribe as well, mate. Thank you very much. Mukako signed a new deal, host top club. Yeah, we just read that one. Wayne says, lads, Chelsea drew 0-0 with Liverpool. That's flattened 2 and made bets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we thought the drinks were going to be on you tonight, didn't we, Wayne? But unfortunately, that's now not the case, is it? So, yeah, we just have to...
I mean, I don't know if any of you saw that game, but that game proved that they are where they are on merit in the league.
But yeah, it's I'll just share this on screen because this goes on with the next comment. Pablo says, it's a hard pass on the Claire Bolden lookalike for me. There's Anthony Gordon on screen. Sorry, it's not. It's Claire Bolden, but the lookalike, don't they? Rain says, I had Liverpool to win and Chelsea. Both teams score. Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? It's just bad, isn't it, when that happens? But there you go, guys. I just thought I'd share that what Pablo said. And Gary says it's the same when that idiot tried to tie himself to the goalpost last season. Yeah, maybe that's come back to bite them in the backside. He has signed announced by Daily Mail, says Kong. Yeah, we've just put it up there. Just wait and see if we finally get Chowdhury, says Trolls. Yeah, Baz Dost. We're still waiting for him for the door.
Does Dost still play? Because we've been after him for about a decade or so.
Oh, Baz Dost?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I wonder if he might still play, you know. He might be about 37 or something now. Who knows? He could still be playing, but he might actually hung up his boots by now, mightn't he? So who knows? Yes, he does play actually still. He's actually only 33. And he plays for FC Utrecht. He's out of contract in June.
Oh, maybe we can get him in the summer then.
He started 12 out of 15 games, scored 6 goals and 2 assists.
That's not a bad return.
Not really for a 33-year-old, is it? Yeah, so there you go. I mean, that's not bad at all. This thing is, Malin and Haller play over him, so a bit weird. Haller is back now. Yeah, strange. Toon says he's 4 games in the Champions League. Same with Botman, but the other 2 have reached further and know Europe better. Again, it's all ifs and buts. We'll just wait and see. It's 500 million board draw. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just keeping an eye on the time for the team sheets. How would you get on these WhatsApp group chat, lads? I'll speak to Sefton and I'll get him to message you, Gary. Toon says, Makako only played because Haller had cancer in his testicle. Now he's clear and he's back his first choice. Fair enough. Chris says, Claire Bolden gets more girls than Gordon. Oh, dear me, Chris.
Oh,
right, I'm going to go back to the comment that Knight came out with, the one that I started. And it was a question for both myself and you, Rolly. And the question he asks is, when Rafa finishes as a manager, would you look to bring him back to St James's Park in another capacity? If so, and what? As what?
Ooh,
right. I'll go first for this one. Rafa, I would probably say no. I wouldn't bring him back. Yeah. Because I don't think there'd be any place for him. It's whether you want to do something like that after football as well. He might just want to retire gracefully and just enjoy pina coladas. Yeah, for me, I mean, if he was to come back, I would see maybe giving him an ambassador role or something like that. Um, but other than that, I would say probably not. Rolly, what's your thoughts on that question?
I'm in agreement with you. Probably not. Um, Not because we didn't love his time at the club, but I think they're probably players that, or even well, players mainly that would be more suitable for a role of the club because they've had a longer association with the club, and be great to have them in an ambassadorial role.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not
sorry.
sure
Goal.
what.
We've had a goal. Leicester have scored against Brighton. It's now 2-1 to Leicester. Harvey Barnes with the goal.
Well, that's interesting.
There you go.
But yeah, I was just thinking, what role would you have him in? Because he's the sort of guy that wants control of what he does, and operations and football side is stacked with really capable people. So we've got Dan Ashworth, so we don't need a director of football. He's not a commercial guy, so it would have to be an ambassadorial role. And
Yeah.
then would he want it? Would he rather do something like that at Liverpool, where he spent longer and won more? Because he was only with us for 3.5 years?
Yeah.
So it's not like he had a massive association with the club like Keegan was a player and a manager, or Alan Shearer, who was at the club for however many years, Nobby Solano, Shola, a list of players. He was here for a short time, did well, and it's just a matter. I just don't think that he's the right person.
Yeah.
That's not to take away from what he did for the club when he was here. I just don't see it.
Has anybody today noticed the Leicester team sheet, by the way? Because I'll tell you why. This guy's on the bench for Leicester, James Maddison. Surprise, surprise. I'm just saying. And Eddie's on about getting a player in to excite the fans. Could this guy be coming through the door before the end of January? It's weird. He's
That'd
back
be
on the
nice.
bench. And Eddie did say, Chris Wood going, but I'll bring a player in who excites the fans. And I'm not saying he's coming in for 1 minute. I'm just saying it's a coincidence, and this guy happens to be back on the bench. Make it whichever way you want it, guys.
Yeah, it's a bit like Anthony Gordon. We've been linked with him again strongly, and he's on the bench now. Is that a coincidence? We don't know.
Yeah,
it could be that Gordon's not in the right frame of mind after the Everton fans berated him when he was leaving the ground. It could be that they don't want to get him injured because they're going to sell him. And that doesn't mean that they're going to sell him to us.
Gary says, cheers, Tony Matro says, that depends, Chris, if you take into account the paid ones. Leicester 2-1, yeah, lineups shortly, says Trolls. Yeah, there will be. Andrew says, we don't need Rafa. Nice says, head of youth development. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
we've got the position sorted, so there's no particular
Rafa
need.
Says Alan. Toon says, with how many players I see at the club this country, I see our future buying abroad because the ownership are close, love it or not, is a factor why some players don't want to sign. I'm not really sure about that one, if I'm honest with you.
I don't think that, to be honest, will make much difference.
No, that's because Gordon had a row with Lampard this week. That's why he's on the bench. He's saying, "Well, I'm not 100% sure on that one." At the end of the day, they're just rumours. Whether they're true or not, we don't know. And we're just awaiting the team news coming out, which should be out in the next minute and a half or so. So hopefully we will have that for you and bring the team news to you as soon as it happens.
I get a feeling that if Bruno's fit, he's going to start him.
Well, there's a photograph going on Twitter from Newcastle United themselves. Bruno's here and Botman's here. So there you go. So, yeah, it could be. Do you know, it could be. I mean, it would be very surprising, but, you know, don't mind the team selection I put up wrong in the Bruno bit. I've got no problem with that. As long as Bruno's fit, that's the main thing. I don't want him risking himself and then he gets injured and then he's out for a long period of time. We need to make sure this guy's fully fit.
The way I look at it is that he went over, rolled his ankle, right? He thought it could be a bad injury. Now, everybody's rolled their ankle and thinks, oh, it really hurts at the time. And then, especially when you're a fit young person, by the end of the week, you're okay on it. It's only if you do the ligament damage that you're out for a long time. So it is quite feasible that he's fine now. But I don't, if he's not fine, I don't think Eddie will risk him. There's no need to. We're good enough. We're good enough that we don't have to rush players back.
Just looking at the players here coming into the ground, and just to let you know, Sefton, I know you put it out there about Joe Willock earlier on. He is actually there at the ground. So Joe Willock is at Selhurst Park. So the photos you didn't see of him training Sefton, nothing to worry about, mate. He's definitely there because I've just seen the video footage of him arriving at Selhurst. So no worries about that at all. Joe Willock. Not yet, no.
Yeah, let's just say because it's half past.
Yeah. Fact, just as you say that, team news is about to come out now. So here we go. Right. And I'll get up on screen. So the team today is Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miggy Almiron, Joe Linton, and Callum Wilson. That is your starting 11. It's unchanged from last Sunday. The bench is Dubravka, Lascelles, Saint Maximin, Ritchie, Lewis, Isak, Manquillo, Jacob Murphy, and Elliot Anderson. So that is your lineup.
Yeah, I wonder if Lascelles is going to get another booking without getting on the pitch.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, is he? You know.
I think that's just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of him going to Wolves, isn't there?
Well, they've just signed a centre half, I think, Wolves. Don't know if they want another one. I mean, to be honest with Lascelles, I'd keep him till the end of the season. There's no need to rush him out the door just yet, because with Target injured and Burn playing at left back, we've only really got him as cover at centre half.
Yeah, there you go, guys. There's the team lineup on screen for you, as promised.
That's essentially, it's pretty much our full strength lineup.
Yep.
West Ham are bringing Danny Ings on. Still 2-0.
I still think, in a way, Aston Villa have cocked up there, getting rid of Danny Ings because, but that's up to them. We don't care. We don't care. And the Crystal Palace lineup is out, so the lineup is as stated. Gaeta in goal. Ward is captain. Mark Way, Richards, Tyrick Mitchell, Jeffrey Schlupp, Decore, Ayew, Eze, Zaha, and Edward. And the substitutes is goalkeeper Sam Johnson, Nathaniel Klein, Riedewald, Ozo, Milivojevic, Will Hughes, Michael Elise, Wells Morrison, and Jean-Philippe Matata. So there you go. That's the lineup for Crystal Palace. Once again, Gaeta, Ward, Guay, Richard, Mitchell, Schlupp, Decore, Ayew, Eze, Zaha, and Edward. And their substitutes, Johnson, Klein, Riedewald, Ozo, Milivojevic, Hughes, Elise, Wells Morrison, and Mateta. So that's your Crystal Palace lineup. So, guys, what's your thoughts now for the scoreline tonight? Are we going to go down there and do what we did in 2004 when we beat Crystal Palace 2-0 with goals from Patrick Kluivert and Craig Bellamy? So, yeah, and that's a while ago, isn't it, guys? Let's grab into some more comments while the team lineup's on there, because I've got some comments to get into. He said that was on Sky. Says too. He says, sorry, Bruno will not play. Eddie won't risk the cup, but I think he's back for the second leg. Yeah, that was before the team news came out and he's playing. Ian says it's a risk if they play Bruno, leave him to the cup games. He must be fully fit. That's all we can think of anyway. Toon says, well, honestly, when Bruno don't play, we do lack creativity with Shelby gone for a while. Yeah, absolutely. Knight says, haven't the yellow cards now reset? Yes, because we've played 20 games, so the yellow cards have reset. But Casemiro didn't get the memo, did he, the other night for Man United and got himself booked. And really, technically, he should have been sent off. Sorry, it was a red card. It wasn't a yellow card offence. It was a red card offence, that. David Veach. Hi, David. Hope you're well. He says, Lascelles going for a hat-trick today. Yeah, let's hope. Yeah. Yellow cards. 205 will say it's got to be a wide left forward if ESM ain't on again, because we all know Joe Linton is best in midfield. Yeah, but he's played all right. Gary says Selhurst Park was a buggery ground when playing against Wimbledon for Newcastle lads back in the day. Yes, I remember that was always a bogey ground, wasn't it, as well? And,
I remember playing Wimbledon at Plough Lane. I was actually at the game with the famous Gaza picture. Didn't even notice it until I saw the papers the next day. It's one of the most boring games of football I've ever watched. It was awful.
Knight says, so that 1-0. No, it's not, because the goal has been disallowed. This is a huge call. El Yunusi is adjudged to have fouled Bailey in the build-up to the goal, so VAR has overruled it, to cries from the St Mary's crowd of, you do know what you're doing. There we go. So it's still 0-0. So Villa in Southampton are 0-0 still. Toon says, well, that lineup, we only need 6 players to compete next season with the top squad. I think we'll be getting rid of a few, that's for sure.
But we're already competing.
Yeah, we are. 2-0 to us, says Nate. Chris says, Moyes, we need signings, not signings. I don't know who's Savage.
That's a good.
I don't know who Savage Gaming is. I'm not even putting your comment on screen, and you're in timeout, mate. Not even worth a mention. Paul says, scrappy 1-0 win. The 2 for me, like, hard place to go. It is a hard place. I'm going to say 2-0.
I'm going 1-0.
You're going 1-0. Yeah, absolutely.
But the way we've been playing is a bit like after we had that run of draws after the Liverpool game, in that we've been dominating games, but creating chances, but not scoring. Sooner or later, someone's going to get on the end of a hiding from us again.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, Rolly. Sorry, I've got to wrap up now because I've got to go and pick my missus up from work.
Yeah.
But before I go, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It does help the channel up the search results. So thank you very much for that. Smash the likes. Thank you. And also, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also, bell notification tells you when I'm live or have a pre-recorded video on or any upcoming shows. So yeah, guys, unfortunately, I'm having to wrap up. But enjoy the game, and we'll be back with some sort of match reaction, but I'll put that out there when it'll be on. But yeah, thanks to Rolly coming on as well. Thank you very much, mate.
Tony.
And yeah, sorry it's been a short show today, but I've got to go and pick the missus up. She finishes at 5, but at least I'll be back home for the match. That's the main thing. So on this note, guys, thank you very much. Take care, and see you later. Come on, the Mags. Let's go and win the game tonight and go 8 points clear of Spurs and 2 clear of Man United. Bye-bye for now, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Rolly.
Right, Tony.